Look at that. That was only 2 coats and it looks like so full. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay. Today we're going to be talking about some possible Pacifica Glossier dupes. I'm also going to be talking about the new Kosas Big Clean Mascara, which I'm so excited about. So if you guys are curious about either of those, please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy at any point. Let's get started. All right, let's get started. The first new Pacifica product I have here is the Hemp Blur Pore Balancing Primer with hemp seed and potato pulp. This is a silicone-free primer. I have yet to try this. I feel like Pacifica is always coming out with new products, and usually not all of them really interest me too much, but I went on Ulta and found these that did pique my interest a little bit. So this looks like just like the Milk Hydro Grip primer, a little bit more liquidy though. So this claims to be a balancing primer. It has a little bit of like a herbal smell, but very faint. And it goes on nicely. It's like a lightweight gel feel. This claims to be a breathable silicone-free formula with plant-powered skincare plus blurring effects to create a canvas that extends makeup wear. So it does claim to extend wear of makeup. We'll see. I don't know what's happening here. So it's pilling so much with my moisturizer right now, which I almost immediately expected with this type of like consistency of primer. I find that they always tend to pill, which is really annoying. Like I do feel like it smoothed out my face and it has a mattifying finish. Let's just go ahead and move on to the foundation. I'm gonna use my Sephora Clean Glowing Skin Foundation today. I did do a review on all of the new Sephora Clean products, and this I've been actually enjoying. I'll talk more about it in my end of the month roundup, but this does have a more dewy finish to it and lighter coverage, but I feel like it looks so pretty on the skin and wears so well, like really well. I'm very impressed with this. I'm just pressing this in with my Real Technique sponge. Primer's making my foundation look so bad. Like I literally have a beard of pilling right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and start over. I'm going to try this primer one more time without any moisturizer on and see what happens. That went on way better. I would say, I think it's because it's a silicone-free primer. It just doesn't work well with silicone products. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more, but it does give a nice semi-smoothing base for makeup. So let's try this foundation again. All right, that looks way better. I am finding that this primer sort of sticks onto your makeup like the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer does. So I'm just trying to like really just push up and down and not rub. Before we do another layer of foundation, I'm going in with the Cover FX Power Play in N-Light 1 just to do some spot concealing since the foundation is a lighter coverage foundation. Now going back in with a second layer of that foundation to give me more of a medium coverage. Now for concealer, taking the same Cover FX Power Play in N-Light 1 for under my eyes. Even without having a moisturizer on, I don't think I really am feeling this primer. I don't know, it's just like making my foundation more difficult to apply, which is never something that I'm going for. All right, let's do our bronzer and then we're gonna get into the first of the Glossier dupes. For bronzer, I'm gonna take the Tower 28 Bronzino. This is the shade West Coast. I'm first gonna dot this with my finger, and to blend that in, I'm using my Luxie contouring brush because these are a very creamy formula. I find that either your fingers or a brush work best. For me, a sponge doesn't work too good with these. I feel like even though this is like a very summery product, it's gonna be great in winter too because it's so dewy and moisturizing. Kind of funny that like dewy products are popular in the summer, but like my skin's drier in the winter personally, and I'm sweatier in the summer, so I like don't want dewy products in the summer. Now that we're bronzed up, our first dupe here is the Glossier Cloud Paint. This is the shade Puff. Then I also have the Pacifica Cheeky Cherry Cheek Stain. Lovely sheer color in the shade Cherry Baby. So I'll swatch these next to each other. I tried to pick a good match, but in terms of the shade, they're definitely not a dupe. It's really just like the formula that seems similar. So here's Cherry Baby, and then this one is Puff from Glossier. Glossier is automatically like a little thicker and creamier, but not necessarily in a heavy way. They're both pretty lightweight feeling. Pigment wise, they seem to be doing relatively same amount of pigment. They actually look really similar like finish on my hands. Let's try these on my cheek. Not both of them. I'm just gonna use the Pacifica one. I'm taking the tiniest bit on my finger and I'm gonna apply the product and then blend it with my sponge. Well, that was super easy to blend out and it looks good. So it does say to apply this with your fingers, which I initially did, and then just used a sponge. I feel like the color looks like really natural on my skin tone. Online, this looks like a lot different than what I feel like it actually is tone-wise. They have 2 other shades. All right, so this is looking pretty. It seems to be a little bit dewy. It's hard to tell because I have a dewy foundation and the dewy bronzer on, but it's just giving my cheeks a nice little flush. I do like the Cloud Paint by Glossier. Very lightweight blush formula. So if you guys were looking for like a cleaner dupe, maybe check this one out. I'll have to see how it wears. But first impressions is it's very similar. It's just like a liquid blush formula. Before we move on, I do have another dupe here. This this is the Pacifica Vegan Care Balm, and I have the Glossier rosebalm.com. This is petroleum based, I believe, and then the Pacifica one is not, also vegan and cruelty free. So this has like the slightest tint to it, and it's pretty thin compared to the Glossier balm.com, which is a lot thicker. And I like the scent of the Glossier one like a lot better. So here's the Pacifica one, and then here's Glossier. They actually have a very similar tint to them, but I find the Pacifica one doesn't really smell or taste like roses. It's like strawberry cherry, whereas the Glossier one is more of like a traditional rose scent. So again, ingredient wise, if you're looking for something similar but cleaner ingredients, you might want to check that one out. It does feel really moisturizing on the lips, which is nice. Now I'm just going in to set my under eyes. I think I'm gonna leave the rest of my face unset. I might do a little bit in the T-zone just because I feel like the dewy cheek I kind of want to leave alone. And for highlight today, I'm gonna quickly go in with my Bare Minerals Zen highlighter to add a little bit of a pinky glow. These formulas are so nice. Like, it's one of those highlights that don't look too much like a highlight on the skin, so it's nice if you have textured skin or just prefer more natural looking dew to the skin. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera, and then we'll be back to talk about our eyeshadow dew. Moving on to eyes, I have the Pacifica Twinkle paint here to try. Before we do that, I'm gonna do a crease color. Dipping into my Aether Beauty Solstice palette, I'm gonna start with this cream soda shade. I always look at this to look into a mirror, and then I realize it does not have one. Next, just to deepen it, I'm gonna take, this is just a ColourPop shadow down here. Any neutral brown you have will work. So now that we have some sort of a look going on, when I first saw this Pacifica thing, I thought, like, that's literally the same packaging as the Glossier, what are they called, lid paints or something? I have not tried those, but the packaging immediately just screamed that to me. Like, are they trying to dupe it? I'm not really sure. But anyway, once I saw the formula in person, it's straight liquid, which is just like the Kosas eyeshadows. So also the shades look pretty similar. I thought this was actually a similar dupe for this since I don't have the Glossier one. So I will swatch them next to each other. This is the shade Baby Stars, which is sort of a mid-tone champagne. And then this Kosas one is called Globe, which is more of a deep bronze. Maybe we'll try to use like both of these today. The Kosas one, I'm gonna put this on the outer half of my eye. And I'm just gonna blend this in with my fingers. Now for Twinkle paint, I'm gonna put this on the inner half of my eye. It's actually really pigmented. I'm just tapping that in with my pinky finger. Since I don't feel like that was full pigment, I'm gonna layer up another layer just to see how pigmented we could get this sucker. All right, that's looking better. So I think that shade looks pretty. I'm really interested to see how this ends up wearing. I will update you guys in the comments, but I think, you know, the shade's pretty. It didn't seem to like get bunchy or weird with the powdered eyeshadow I had down. So I am gonna do a winged liner. I'm gonna use a different palette. I'm gonna use my Makeup Geek one, and this is a Makeup Geek. It's just a deep matte brown. I'm just using a tiny little pencil type brush. It's actually not a pencil. It's like a, what do you call these, angled brushes? You just have those days where you're not feeling your makeup. That's me today. I don't know what about it, but something's just not vibing with me. Anyway, this is not a Pacifica product, but it's a new product I wanted to share with you guys. This is such a random hodgepodge video, but this is the new Kosas The Big Clean Mascara. I did post a reel on Instagram yesterday when this launched. Anyway, I'm gonna show you guys how this looks on my eyes today. So this formula does have lash care actives in it, so it's supposed to help keep your lashes healthy. I definitely need, because I wear falsies a lot, and it has a big brush. When I first used this, I was like so surprised at how dramatic it is with like one coat. So here's like what it initially looks like, which is really pretty and very dramatic, which I love. So I'm just gonna continue to build this up. Definitely a very thickening mascara, but like, look at that. That was only 2 coats and it looks like so full. The con with this is because it's such a thickening formula, you can go overboard really quickly. So I would have a lash comb on hand, or just be mindful of like the amount of coats that you apply. And also that might happen, but the effect is so pretty. And it also applies to the bottom lashes just as well. I don't find that it's difficult to apply. All right, so here's our look. I finished with the Honest Beauty, the liquid lipstick in the shade Love, which I just love the shade of this red. And I finished up with the Kosas mascara as well, which is just so dramatic. I'm loving it. For the wear on that, I find it flakes a tiny bit, like a couple flakes throughout the whole day. nothing too crazy, and I don't experience any smudging. I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask, do I like it better than the Ilia mascara? I'm really not sure yet. For the effect, I prefer this effect better. It's way more dramatic, but I'll have to continue testing it and comparing it to give you guys my final thoughts on it. But I do have one last Pacifica product to try before we go. This is the Hemp Dew Setting Mist, which comes in a glass bottle, which I really like. Feels nice. So this is a dewy lock-in finish and bouncing hemp seed setting spray. I did try this and the mister is really strong. So like you really gotta back up from it, and even then I feel like it puts a lot of droplets on your face. All right guys, that was all of the new products I had to share with you. In terms of the Pacifica products, there's literally nothing here that I'm like even excited about to try again, to be honest. Everything was kind of just like meh, and it seems like, I don't know if they're trying to copy Glossier or if this is supposed to be like Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I don't know, it seems like Pacifica is like more quantity than quality at this point. I do feel like they have a couple good products, but there's nothing here I'm gonna recommend to you guys because nothing has wowed me on the first impression. I have to play around with them a little bit more. If I were to pick one, I would say maybe the Cheek Stain is the one that impressed me the most, but everything else, I don't know, it's just so, and at this point I expect really high quality clean beauty because there's so many brands out there now. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video and find it helpful. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.